We have stopped all performance appraisals of our people. We are saying that you work out what your aspirations are, what your goals are, in line with the company mission and what the company and our customers want. And then we will actually assume that you've done your best, and the starting point is you've given an A. But some people who stretch beyond that will be given what is an A plus, and that's based on whether they have gone out of their comfort zone and done way beyond what they would have normally been comfortable doing. So that's one in terms of the appraisal system. The second is all our work is teamwork. But traditionally, we've had systems where individuals are appraised and teams are not really appraised in any significant way. So we've scrapped all individual accountability, and we said only teams are accountable. So the entire organization is broken into a set of teams. People can be part of many teams. And finally, the teams will be held accountable for producing a result and not the individual. Then we went about delayering the whole organization, saying there shouldn't be more than 3 levels between me as the CEO and the last developer or the programmer who's there. So that was a major shift in terms of the way we organize ourselves. We changed the role of managers. We said that there's no role for a manager, but really we're looking at people who can be servant leaders, who can actually empower other people and bring out the best in them. So these are some of the things that we have rolled out. It all started this year and it's still in process.
So how would you, what advantage does it give you in business to have this process and actually do this work with conscious business?
So what we found is that it actually brings out the creative elements of our people and they're able to solve customer problems better. So these are early days, but already customers are giving us feedback that we see much better energy, much more engagement from your people. They're actually getting involved with our business and seeing how they can make a difference to us. We ask people to create customer wows almost on a monthly basis, that what can we do which will wow a customer. So the teams are actually getting oriented towards that. So that's number one, that it helps deal with the customer better. And the very fact that internal management, reviews and all that are reduced, it releases senior management time and executive time to spend more time with the customer. So it's a win for a customer on all aspects.
Is that because they don't have to spend as much time micromanaging,
exactly.
And then they free up time to do
exactly.
more of that?
So moving from a command and control mode into an empowerment mode, actually, if you don't give managers something to do, they will get more antsy and they will start micromanaging. So, but now all the management layers, including right from the top, we all have executive client sponsorship responsibilities as executive sponsors that we take on. The second is we want to create an abundance of talent and create more engaged Mastekeers. So there is a focus on how do I systematically build up each person, create almost a customized career plan for each person to actually develop and grow within the whole organization. The third is we are looking at long-term reputation and asset building. What can we salvage out of each of the projects that we do, which can go and create IP and assets, which can reduce effort, reduce time as we go forward. So these are the things which are part of that.
Is that, like when you mentioned the long-term view, is that a change that you have made consciously in that?
Yeah.
And what would you describe the way you were doing it before?
So before, I think we were very task and immediate deliverable oriented. So all the team from top to bottom would be focused on what's the next thing that we need to deliver to our customer based on the contract. So we were very good at delivering, but it was just focused on the contract. It was not going beyond what else needs to be done. We were not looking at the company long term because it was a project focused company. So everybody would focus on a project, and when you deliver it, everybody heaves a sigh of relief. But then you get on with the next thing without salvaging and harvesting whatever assets you've built there.
So can you mention one or two things that you do differently in thinking long term instead of short term with clients and short projects, for instance?
Sure. So in some of our customer contracts, we actually allow them to get the permission to harvest 20% of our work into assets that Mastek owns. Otherwise, most of our work is bespoke that we develop for customers. But now we build it into the contract that they allow us to hold some IP. So like that, we have built very strong IP in the area of adaptive case management, which was built on the back of some projects, but now it's being leveraged across other engagements.
Okay, so that's, and how do you build relationship as well? Or do you have more focus on that too?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So because senior management time is released, our connect with the CEOs, COOs, CIOs at the other end has really increased. We are now able to get under the skin of their problems to see what can we do from a business perspective, and then translate it to deliverables downstairs. Because when you look at the project teams, they may not fully understand or comprehend the business challenges. So be able to translate it and say, okay, this is what it means from this particular application, this solution that we are delivering to them.
And what has the responses been from you mentioned a little bit before, but from clients in that with that change?
So they see that the engagement level, energy level is improved. They feel that given that each layer of, I'll explain the structure, which is we have an account leadership team which is mapping to the executive level of the customer. We have the program leadership team which is doing the innovation and creativity and strategy. And then we have the execution teams, which are agile teams, which are delivering the work. So each of them have their own distinct goals. So some customers are saying, oh, I like this. Why don't you tie up with our goals at each of these levels so that we have a joint thing that we can evaluate ourselves on, which is wonderful, which is exactly what we wanted. We thought it one step later, but the customers are willing to open up even now. So I think some of the success have related to delivering something new for a customer, which was completely not expected by them, and then winning new business on the back of it. So you innovate, you create some new application which is just a skunk work project, you show it to the customer, he says, wow, this is something I need, and then he's willing to do more business with you. I think that's one kind of thing which has been very pleasing from this transition.
And you think that you wouldn't have had the same results if you hadn't embarked on this journey?
Definitely. Because the old form would have been just to deliver the project and get out. And so they wouldn't have thought beyond the project. So clearly that's part of the 4.0 transformation. Second is when you watch the youngsters step up and they say, okay, I'm willing to make most of the decisions at my level. I think that's very, very satisfying because they wouldn't have done that in the past, that they're willing to step up and do that. In terms of the other part of appraisals and all is too early because we've not gone through one whole cycle. But I suspect that at the end of that, a lot of people will step up and say, actually, I don't need to be evaluated by someone else for me to develop myself. I need to have my own internal benchmarks and live up to that, which we have not reached, but I expect that to happen. Similarly, assets that have been built, this case management is one example. There are other examples which have come from various project teams which are contributing to the long-term reputation and asset base of the company.
Have you invested in development in your leaders coaching and things like that, or is that a big part of your?
Yeah, that was a key part of the whole transformation. So we have a program which is conducted by an ex-Buddhist monk called Leading from Within. So how do you actually develop leadership capabilities? And the whole idea of leading is more leading yourself than leading others. So it's a different thing, and it's based on 4 steps. It's the ability to pause, be mindful of what's happening, feel what are you feeling internally, what's the environment feel like, intent, what's the result that you want, and then connect back with the people and with the environment. So it's a 4-step process that we have created with this monk in terms of our own leadership journey.
What is your own purpose?
My own purpose actually is very similar to Mastek's purpose. So my purpose is to be a space for vision. That I would like more and more people to actually experience and be able to play up to their full vision rather than playing a small game, which is just earning a living and feeling happy with that.
And how do you feel that you get to practice this, live your vision every day?
Because fortunately, I have the good fortune of being around people, and as you stimulate them, you watch them grow. I've seen them over tens of years. You know that these are guys who have stepped way beyond what they were capable of doing. So you have examples like that. You also have failures where people have not stepped up, and you try, but it may not work with some people. So you have living examples that you can experiment with on a daily basis.
Excellent, thank you.